So this video is about subliminal messaging, and in particular also about the word crime and how the word's been corrupted and how the subliminal messages in the press continue to corrupt language. I'm going to start with the Evening Standard. I think Nietzsche said that you should respect your enemies. And when I'm not feeling angry, I look at the Evening Standard, I think it is an absolutely amazing piece of technology. It's not a newspaper. It's a way of crafting the reality of people, getting them to think about certain things in a certain way. And most of it is subliminal. So it doesn't matter whether you're intelligent. It's working on your subconscious mind. It's owned by Evgeny Lebedev, who's a Russian, son of Alexander Lebedev, a former KGB agent. Very well, and his son, Evgeny, is a very well-educated man. And he bought the paper for £1. And I'm going to just show you a couple of headlines just to illustrate the subliminal messaging. So the first one's from last week, where Harry was reported to say he will pay for guard to protect Meghan. So it says in the report, Prince Harry is going to pay out of his own money, which I thought was very noble of him, to protect his girlfriend Meghan. Now, the subliminal messages in there, which are pumped in, almost weekly or even daily, is that Harry is a prince, and that somehow what Harry does is worthy of your attention, and that somehow it's noble of him to pay for it himself. So there's a lot of stuff going on in there, a lot of subliminal messaging every single day, and hundreds of thousands of people allow that into their consciousness. But I want to concentrate on this particular one, the subliminal messages in here. Ex-rugby star ran Breaking Bad drug factory, right? I'm just going to read a little bit of this to you. A former rugby star was facing jail today after copying the hit TV show Breaking Bad to rake in hundreds of thousands of pounds by cooking crystal meth. Lorenzo Boccini, aged 36, set up a high-tech drugs laboratory in his London Little Venice home, where police recovered £300,000 of drugs, £33,000 of cash, and a stun gun. So the question is, what are the subliminal message in that? The subliminal message in there of interest to me are that he's done something wrong, that he's committed a crime, this guy, because he's going to go to jail, and that somehow it's okay to put a man in jail for manufacturing crystal meth. And now I'd like to go to the word crime and suggest that the word crime has been bastardized and corrupted, because to me, when I think of criminals or a crime, I think that of somebody who has initiated violence against somebody else or their property. And in this case, who has initiated the violence against someone else and their property? It's interesting they used the word recovered, that the police recovered £300,000 of crystal meth. What does that mean? So my question is, if we go with that definition of a crime and not the definition that the police give, which is, breaking any of their rules, which they call law, so who has initiated violence in this case? By making crystal meth, you're not initiating violence against anybody, because the people that use the crystal meth do so by consent, unless, of course, somebody's forcing it on a child, in which case the person who forces it on a child needs to be dealt with. But we're talking about the guy who manufactures it. And if you say that crystal meth is a dangerous product and therefore the guy that manufactures it is a criminal, well, I mean, then we need to seriously look at locking up the CEO of Cadbury's, the CEO of Guinness, the CEO of tobacco companies, British American Tobacco, definitely the CEOs of William Hill and Ladbrokes, the betting shops. These guys are making products and services that are a tremendous harm to people and to those around them. I would suggest, for example, it might sound radical to you, but I would suggest that the CEO of Cadbury's is far more a threat to me and to most of you than Mr. Boccini, because Mr. Boccini is making crystal meth, and most people, including myself, would not be interested in crystal meth, even if it was offered for free. Whereas Cadbury's, They make products that are full of sugar and caffeine, no narcotics. And by the way, if you don't think that they have a serious effect on people, I can tell you that just today I met somebody who almost committed suicide because of the effects that sugar and caffeine were having on her. So, these are serious stuff. And not only that, Mr. Boccini, I suspect, wasn't going to package his crystal meth in some beautiful, purple foil to tempt people into taking his stuff, whereas Cadbury's do that. So the question is, if that's the case, right, if it's not a crime to manufacture something that might be dangerous for people, well then who's the criminals here? Because if you define crime as someone who initiates violence against a peaceful person, I would suggest that the police and the courts and the judges and the barristers and the lawyers, they are the ones that are initiating violence. The police stole £300,000 of crystal meth from Mr. Boccini. The police stole £33,000 from him. And then they locked him up after that. And after stealing his stuff, they then lock him up, which is kidnapping, which is imprisonment, immoral imprisonment. It's not illegal, it's legal. All this is legal. But we know from Germany and from Saudi Arabia that just because something's legal or illegal, that doesn't have a bearing on the morality of it. So I would suggest that these people, the agents of the establishment, are the ones that are initiating violence against the peaceful man. Now, I personally wouldn't make crystal meth, as I wouldn't want to spend my life making that stuff, knowing the effect it has on people. But I also wouldn't want to make cigarettes. I also wouldn't want to run a casino. I also wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to run an alcohol production business. But it doesn't make me a criminal if I do those things. Certainly not according to the current understanding of what crime is, and certainly to my understanding of what crime is. So my question for you in the comment section, please, is who are the criminals here, or who is the criminal, Mr. Boccini, or those that have dealt with him in the establishment? Be lovely to hear what you think.